Welcome to Taste Desire, where fictional breaks the silence and emotion bleed through every word. Here, love is twisted, pain is personal, and nothing is ever as simple as black and white. If you crave a story that hit you hard, stay with you long, and leave you breathless, you are exactly where you need to be. So take a deep breath, press play, and let the obsession begin. This
The morning after. YN's POV. A sharp throb settled in my head as soon as I opened my eyes. My limbs were heavy, my throat unbearably dry. I tried to shift, but my body refused to cooperate, sore, numb, and aching. My gaze dropped to what I was wearing. A thin nightgown, no undergarments, just the bare fabric hanging loosely on my exposed skin. I blinked slowly, trying to recall what had happened the night before, but it was all a haze. Where was Taehyung? I looked around the empty room and guessed he had gone to the office. Thank God, I mumbled hoarsely. I couldn't face him. Not after that night. I pushed myself to sit up and placed my feet on the floor. But the moment I stood, a sharp, stabbing pain shot through me. I gasped and collapsed back onto the bed, my hands trembling as I slowly pulled the fabric of my gown aside, just enough to look down. Swollen, red, bruised, tears stung my eyes. Did he really do this to me? Did he sleep with me? Even though I wasn't in my senses. My breath caught in my throat, chest rising and falling with uneven gasps. I stumbled toward the mirror, every step burning. With shaky hands, I slid the gown off my shoulder. My reflection punched the breath out of my lungs. A pale face, puffy eyes, lips bitten raw, dark hickeys everywhere, bite marks on my neck and shoulder. A tear slipped down my cheek. My body suddenly felt heavier, like I was drowning under the weight of last night. This is all my fault, I whispered. Only me. I had given in. Whether I remembered or not, I had let him have what he wanted. My body, my dignity, everything. Even if I was drunk, it didn't matter to him. He took it. Was he satisfied now? 15 minutes later, I walked out of the bathroom, barely able to stand. Each step sent a fresh wave of pain between my thighs. I clutched the walls, needing their support just to stay on my feet. Suddenly, the door slammed open. I flinched. Taehyung stood there, emotionless. Come downstairs for breakfast. Now, he saw me struggling to stand. Saw the way I held the wall like my life depended on it. But he just left. No care, no remorse. Just a loud thud as the door slammed shut behind him. I sank to the nearest couch, curling into a ball. Tears spilled as I muffled my screams into my knees. Was I just a body to him? Just a toy? 10 minutes later, the door creaked open again. YN, didn't I tell you to come down? Taehyung's voice was colder than before. He froze when he saw me, sitting on the couch, hiding my face. I said, come down. His voice was demanding. I looked up slowly, eyes red and swollen. You used me, I said, barely a whisper. You only wanted my body. His expression twisted with anger. He stormed toward me and yanked my arm. What the hell are you talking about? I flinched. He noticed my reaction. His grip didn't loosen, but his voice lowered. What happened? He asked, still cold. I looked away, the pain rushing back. It hurts, I murmured. What hurts? Down there, I said, barely able to meet his eyes. Taehyung's gaze darkened. Do you want me to do it again? My eyes widened. Fear surged through me. No, I'm sore, it hurts. He scoffed. You deserve it. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Don't pretend to be innocent. I know what kind of bitch you are deep down. Come down, now. And then he left. Just like that. I sat frozen, broken, terrified. He really doesn't care. I'm just something he used. Something to throw away. But I knew if I didn't go down, he might come back. And I wasn't strong enough to bear it again. So I forced myself up. Clinging to the railing, I slowly made my way downstairs. Dining table. Taehyung was already seated. His gaze didn't lift. I tried to sit one chair away, but the look he gave me, deadly, possessive. I quietly took the seat next to him, silent. My stomach growled. I hadn't eaten since yesterday. I picked at my food in silence, not daring to look at him. When I finally glanced his way, He hadn't touched anything. His plate wasn't even set. Why? Why aren't you eating? I asked quietly. Aren't you going to the office? No answer. Just silence. I shifted uncomfortably, the soreness in my body making it hard to sit. My chest ached. My mind was foggy, heavy with emotions I couldn't even name. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. My eyes snapped toward the door, then to him. No reaction. Strange. His girlfriend usually entered with the passcode. She wouldn't ring. I got up to check, thinking maybe she forgot the code, but before I could move, Taehyung grabbed my wrist. I'll get it. He left. I sat back down, waiting, watching. Moments later, he returned, with a paper in his hand. Not an office file, a medical report. He placed it on the table, sat down across from me, and stared hard. Do you want to explain why you did what you did last night? My heart stuttered. I looked away. What did I do? I asked, voice shaking. You're the one who did everything. I just let you. His eyes burned with rage. Don't push me in. Answer me. What more do you want? I gave you what you wanted. That's not what I asked. His jaw clenched. What did you mix with the wine? I avoided his gaze. Why do you even care? You got what you wanted. I stood to walk away. But his voice turned to ice. You're not leaving until you answer me. He grabbed my arms and pulled me toward him, slamming me against the edge of the table. Chapter title: Truth in Blood. Why ends Pov? Let me go, I shouted, pushing at his chest. My hands trembled against him, but I didn't back down. I don't owe you an explanation. You got what you wanted, Taehyung. You wanted this, so you did it. Isn't that enough? His jaw clenched as his dark eyes bore into mine. So you won't tell me what you mixed in your wine last night? He asked sharply. I shook my head. No, I won't tell you anything. You don't get to force me into an answer, just like you forced yourself into everything else. I pushed at him again. But before I could escape, his hands gripped mine and twisted them behind my back, hard. A hiss escaped my lips. His grip wasn't gentle. It was cold, calculated. This wasn't the Taehyung I once knew. Fine, he growled. I'll find out myself. He pinned both my wrists with one hand, rendering me motionless. With his free hand, he reached for the paper folder on the dining table. My heart dropped when he pulled it open. My eyes landed on the document inside, and my blood ran cold. My name. Blood test. No, he couldn't have. I didn't get any blood test done, I stammered, wide-eyed. His voice was low. Dangerous. I did. Last night. While you were acting like a maniac. The room spun for a moment. He knows. Or he's about to. Tae, listen to me, I said quickly, trying to stay calm, trying to stop him. I just drank too much wine last night. That's all. I was tipsy, a little crazy, but it's not a big deal. You didn't need to test my blood. It's a small thing. I was desperate now. My words tripped over each other. Anything to keep him from reading it. But he wasn't listening. Shut up and stay still, he ordered coldly. He tried to read the report again, but I thrashed against his grip. Taehyung, please, he snapped, his attention snapping between the paper and my struggling body. I tried to wiggle free. He gritted his teeth and yanked my wrists tighter, pressing me into the edge of the table. I said never. Then, without warning, he released my hands, and I gasped in momentary relief. But it lasted only a second. His arms wrapped around my waist, lifting me up and slamming me flat onto the dining table. No, I cried, trying to scramble away, but he grabbed my hips, pulled me back to him, and spread my legs, stepping between them. Tae, stop, please. But he was focused on the paper. I reached for it, snatched it from the table, but before I could tear it, he gripped both my wrists and slammed them above my head, pinning me down. How could you get a blood test done without my permission? I yelled, trying to distract him. He didn't answer. Instead, he pressed his knee between my thighs. Hard. I whimpered, pain shooting through my body. Still sore. Still raw. Don't provoke me, kitten, he whispered darkly. Don't forget, you're still sore right here. He pushed his knee harder. Tae, please, I whimpered. Stay still. And with that, he began reading. Every second felt like an eternity. I watched the anger creep onto his face, bit by bit, until it wasn't just anger anymore. It was rage. What the hell is this? He whispered through clenched teeth. YN, tell me the truth. What are you hiding? What the FCK is going on in your head? I swallowed hard. My lips quivered. I didn't even know what the report said, but I knew it exposed everything. Did you take? He hissed. Did you really that wine last night? I stayed silent. My body shook beneath him. He roared, pulling me up by the arms, yanking my face close to his. Answer me. Who gave you those drugs? Why did you do this to yourself? My lips parted. My voice barely made it out. It wasn't exactly drugs, I said hesitantly. It was just a supplement. A hormone booster. Not illegal. His glare didn't waver. You're lying. I'm not. I tried to reassure him. It's safe. I asked my doctor friend. She said it only increases hormones, it's not dangerous. He scoffed. Cold. Deadly. Your doctor. Great. Give me her name. I'll make sure she loses her damn license. No, I shouted. TAE, stop overreacting. She's my friend, she was only trying to help. Help, he echoed in disbelief. By drugging you. Give me your phone. Now. No, Taehyung. Please, just let me have some privacy. His voice dropped. You lost that right the moment you drugged yourself. He reached toward the table where my phone sat. I lunged for it, but he was faster. He grabbed it. His fingers flew over the screen, searching. The contact was easy to find. Shalia, he called. Hello. Are you okay? Came her voice over the speaker. But before he could say anything, I snatched the phone and ended the call. Enough, he shouted. I stood, shaking. Yes, enough, Taehyung. You got what you wanted, didn't you? You used me, satisfied your needs. Now why are you still doing this? My voice cracked as pain erupted from my chest. You always force me, I whispered. You never listen when I say no. That medicine, it was the only way I could stop myself from stopping you. You wanted me, so I made sure you wouldn't be disappointed. Tears burned my cheeks. I'm tired of pretending this is love. It doesn't feel like love anymore. It feels like lust. And I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Taehyung stood frozen, staring at me. Then his voice came out, low, broken. I wanted to make our first night special. I wanted to make it ours. Beautiful, not painful, not terrifying. I'm your husband, Can't I expect that much from you? He stepped closer. Can't I hope for a family? For a future? I know I'm flawed. I know I'm not easy to love. But your distance, your silence, it makes me afraid you'll leave again. And if keeping you close means getting you pregnant, I'll do it. I'll go to that extent. My breath caught in my throat. What? His voice broke again. Tell me, will you promise to never leave me? If you can give me that, just that, I swear, I'll never force myself on you again. I'll wait. For as long as it takes. I know I sound crazy. But I need to believe in you again. Even after what you did. He looked at me, eyes filled with desperation. But I had no answer. I couldn't promise forever. Not in this pain. Not in this fear. Not when love had already turned into something else. Single goddamn word. Her silence screamed louder than any cry, and yet, she wouldn't meet my eyes. Wouldn't even acknowledge my question. I clenched my jaw, fury crawling under my skin. She thought she could ignore me. No. I leaned in, grabbing her chin and forcing her to look up, into my eyes, into the darkness she was trying so hard to avoid. You don't get to ignore me, I said through gritted teeth. You have to answer. Either you give me your promise, or I swear, I'll make sure you carry a part of me, right now, right here, on this table. Her eyes widened in terror, lips parting in a shaky breath. She tried to move back, but I had her locked in place. There was no escape this time. You can't run from me anymore, I saw the panic rise in her chest as her breathing quickened. Still, she tried. Please, please let me go, she whispered, her voice cracking. You just said you'd never force me to be intimate again, so why are you doing this? Please, Tae, let me go. Her voice was soft, fragile, soaked in fear and betrayal. But my grip only tightened. My jaw clenched so hard it ached. I said I won't force you, if you promise never to leave me. Her body stilled. I could see the shift in her eyes. That quiet hesitance. That inner battle between escape and surrender. Between freedom and me. She didn't respond. Of course she didn't. She wanted to run. Again. But I wasn't letting her go this time. I couldn't. Why is it so hard to promise me that? I asked, my voice quieter now, but colder. It's not like I'm asking for your love. Just, your forever. She looked down. Her lips quivered, but they stayed sealed shut. Still no answer. And in her silence, I felt it again. That same dread that had haunted me since the day she walked away before, the feeling that she would vanish if I so much as blinked. I stared at her like I was watching the only thing I had ever wanted slip away. But not this time. Never again. The heat between us was still thick in the air, my breath shallow, my heart pounding, when suddenly, my phone rang. I froze. My eyes darted toward the screen. Caller ID, Jimin. No, 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 no. YN in mind, not now. Please, not now. TAE, let's just talk later, I whispered quickly, clutching my phone tighter, trying to pull away from him subtly. But he noticed the change in my tone, the panic in my eyes. His own gaze darkened. Who's calling you, in? I shook my head. It's no one. Please, let's just end this conversation now. No one. His tone turned sharper. Then let me see the phone. Before I could react, he reached for it. I jerked my hand away. TAE, please. His grip tightened on my wrist. Why are you hiding it? Who are you trying to protect? I didn't answer. My silence was louder than any confession. The phone rang again. And again. This time, TAE managed to snatch it from me. His jaw clenched as he stared at the screen. Jimin. He spat the name like venom. So he's still calling you. He answered the call before I could stop him. YN, are you okay? Jimin's worried voice poured through the speaker. Just say something, are you safe? Is TAE hurting you? Tell me now. I'll come get you. I lunged to grab the phone, but Tae's hand shot out and pinned mine to the table. I could feel the fire in his gaze before I even looked up. You're still talking to him behind my back. He growled, his voice low, terrifying. You told me you cut him off. I did. I cried, tears threatening to fall. I swear, look, there is nothing like this. Tae's hand slammed onto the table beside me, making me jump. And what did he mean? He'll come get you. Do you still want to go back to him? No, I screamed. I don't want to go anywhere. You got what you wanted, now just leave me. Jimin was still shouting from the phone, desperate. I could hear every word stabbing into Tae's pride. Jimin, just say the word, in. I'll come. I'll save you. Before I could say or do anything, TAE ended the call with a sharp press of his thumb and tossed the phone across the room. The silence after was suffocating. My body trembled under his presence. I couldn't meet his eyes, not when he was looking at me like that. Like I had betrayed him. You lied to me, he whispered. You still talk to him. Even now. It's not like that's what you think, I said, my voice breaking. I didn't know what to do. Everything is a mess. I've given you everything, he said, voice shaking. And you still make me feel like I'm not enough. YN, that's not true. The phone rang again. YN's fingers moved faster than her thoughts, cutting the call before the ringtone could echo again through the thick tension in the room. But it didn't stop. Jimin was calling again, and again, and again, just to hear her voice. Just to make sure she was okay. She knew it, and she hated it, because if she picked up in front of Taehyung, he'd say something cruel. Something unforgivable. Something she wouldn't be able to take back or fix. TAE, please, listen to me, she whispered, her voice trembling with desperation. But this time, Taehyung didn't listen. He snatched the phone from her hand, fury blazing in his eyes. I don't want your damn explanations, he snapped. The way he talks to you, it's like you two never broke up. Like you're still his. YN's lips parted in shock, her heart thundering in her chest. He said he'll take you back. Taehyung scoffed, his voice dripping venom. Does he think I'm a fool? His voice dropped, laced with betrayal. You're my wife now. Mine. But neither he understands that, nor do you, apparently. The phone rang again. Taehyung's knuckles widened as he gripped the device. YN tried to reach for it, but he grabbed both her wrists and pushed her back, slamming her down gently, but firmly, onto the dining table. "Tae, what are you doing?" She gasped, breath catching in her throat as her chest rose and fell rapidly, panic flooding her body. He didn't speak at first. Just stared down at her, the hurt on his face buried beneath layers of rage. Then came the chilling whisper. "Now, you won't do anything. Now, it's my turn." The phone vibrated again, and this time, he answered it. Jimin's voice crackled from the speaker, filled with fear and concern. "Please say something. Are you okay? Just one word. I'm begging you. If you're in trouble, I'll come to you. I'll take you away. Just say the word, and I'll be there." YN squeezed her eyes shut, a single tear escaping. Her lips trembled. She couldn't take it anymore. "Jimin, I." But before she could finish, Taehyung's hand tangled in her hair and pulled her head back, crashing his lips onto hers in a raw, silencing kiss. It wasn't soft. It wasn't gentle. It was fueled by desperation, anger, betrayal, and something even more dangerous, pain. Her fists hit his chest, trying to push him away. She couldn't breathe. Her lungs burned. But when he finally let her go, her eyes were glossy and wide, lips swollen and voice stolen. "Jimin wanted to hear your voice," Taehyung whispered darkly, his lips brushing her ear. "And you looked like you were dying to talk to him." He turned his gaze down to her. "So let's give him a memory he'll never forget." His thumb brushed the answer button. Speaker on. Jimin was still on the line, waiting. His voice called out again, laced with heartbreak. "Say something, please. Just tell me you're okay." But she couldn't. Not with Taehyung's eyes locked on hers, daring her to speak. Not with her body pinned under the weight of his rage and torment. And as the seconds stretched longer than eternity, YN realized. This wasn't just jealousy. This was a storm she had no idea how to survive. Suddenly, a sharp sound echoed in the hallway, the unmistakable click of approaching footsteps. YN's heart skipped a beat. Her body tensed beneath Taehyung's, who was still towering over her on the dining table, completely lost in the heat of the moment as his lips moved hungrily over hers, caging her petite frame under his. But someone was coming. "Tae," she tried to whisper against his lips, tapping his chest with trembling fingers, once, twice. He didn't stop. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Panic flared in her eyes. Still, Taehyung didn't budge. His lips were drunk on her taste, oblivious to anything else around them. Left with no other choice, YN's hand slid up his chest and slipped under his shirt, before suddenly pinching his chest sharply. "Ah!" Taehyung groaned low, pulling back slightly, his breath ragged. His gaze snapped down to her, confused, slightly irritated, until he saw the fear in her eyes, the way her breath hitched, her eyes darting toward the hallway. Then he heard it too. The sound of footsteps, right outside the door. And in that moment, his possessive haze melted into alertness. Their eyes locked, hers wide with alarm, his now burning with protective fire. And then, they both froze. Footsteps. Tae ears twitched at the sound before YN could even speak. Her eyes widened in panic. Someone was coming. But Tae was quicker, his reflexes sharp like a predator protecting what's his. Without a second thought, he pulled YN's trembling body into his chest, wrapping his arms tightly around her as if shielding her from the world. He bent slightly, hiding her behind his tall frame, using his body as a barrier. "Don't make a sound," he whispered against her hair, voice low and deadly calm. And just then, she walked in. That girl. The girl. The moment Taehyung's eyes met hers, he masked everything, his heavy breathing, YN's disheveled look, the air thick with forbidden tension. Silently, he bent down as if nothing was out of place, subtly grabbing Yen's fallen undergarment from the floor. Without meeting her gaze, he balled it in his hand and shoved it into his pocket, like a secret no one should ever know. "Wait for me in the study room," he said to the girl, his voice flat, unreadable. "I'll be there in a minute." She gave a hesitant nod and walked away. The moment she disappeared, Taehyung looked down at Yen, still hiding behind him, cheeks burning with embarrassment and breath caught in her throat. He smirked darkly. "You're mine," he whispered. Taehyung's dark eyes flicked toward the closed door once again, making sure she was truly gone. Then, without a word, he turned back to Yen, who was still, barely able to hold herself up. Tears shimmered at the corner of her lashes, and her body felt weak, numb from everything, trembling from inside out. Without hesitation, Taehyung bent down and swept her up effortlessly into his arms, bridal style. "Tae," she whispered, breathless. "Shish," he hushed her softly, holding her tightly against his chest as if she might disappear if he let go. "You've had enough for today." Yen clung to his shirt weakly, burying her face into his neck as he carried her up the staircase, each step echoing in the silent mansion. His hold was gentle, but his grip was firm. Protective. Possessive. Unshakable. When they reached their bedroom, he pushed the door open with his foot and walked in, the low light brushing over her pale face. He walked straight to the bed and slowly lowered her down onto the mattress, like she was made of glass. Yen winced slightly at the sudden softness, her sore body sensitive to even the lightest touch. Taehyung noticed. He knelt beside the bed, pulled open the drawer of the bedside table, and brought out a small packet of medicine. Without saying much, he opened a bottle of water, placed 2 pills into her hand, and looked her dead in the eye. "Take these. They'll help ease the effect of those stupid pills you took." Yen blinked slowly and took them without resistance. Her throat tightened, not from the pills, but from the guilt in his voice. After making sure she swallowed them, Taehyung brushed her hair away from her face, pressing a light kiss to her forehead. Then his voice dropped low, controlled, but colder than before. "Rest now. I'll be back." Before she could say anything, he stood up, walked out of the room, and closed the door softly behind him, heading straight for the study room. Blank. Flashback of Yen and Shalya conversation. Yen's POV. My fingers trembled as I dialed her number. I hadn't spoken to her in weeks, not since the last time we discussed the divorce. The word still stung. But tonight, that wasn't why I was calling. Phone ringing. "Shalya. Hello. Wow, it's been a while. Everything okay? I was just about to call you, actually. The divorce papers are ready." Yen. "There's no need for those anymore, Shalya. I need your help." A pause. She went quiet for a second. "Shalya, of course. You know I'm always here. Tell me, what is it?" Yen. "Not until you promise me something first." Shalya. "Promise you what?" Yen. "That you won't refuse. That no matter what I ask, you won't back out. And if you break this promise, Shalya, I swear I'll never speak to you again." She sighed on the other end. I knew it hurt her, but I had no choice. "Shalya. Yen, don't talk like that. You know I've always stood by you." "Fine, I promise. Whatever it is, I'll help you. Now, please, tell me." I swallowed hard, voice low but firm. "Yen, I need a hormonal enhancer. Just 1 dose, strong enough." Shalya. "Wait, what? Have you completely lost your mind?" I closed my eyes. I knew this was coming. "Shalya, I will not help you with this. Don't even think about it. This isn't okay. If you do anything reckless, I swear I'll tell your mom everything." Yen. "No. I told you, don't bring my mom into this. Don't even dare, Shalya. Shalya. Then stop doing things that force me to. You know how dangerous this is, don't you? If anything goes wrong, it won't just be emotional damage, it could ruin you. Physically, mentally. Yen, I know the risk. That's why I came to you. You're a doctor. You understand these things better than anyone else. That's why I trusted you. Shalya, you trusted me. Then listen to me, this could cost you your life. You don't even have control over your body or mind right now. And you want to do this." I bit down on my lip, refusing to let the tears fall. YN, fine. If you won't help, I'll find another way. Some bar, some shady clinic. But the dosage, that's on you. If you don't tell me, I'll guess it myself, and take more if needed. Shalya, YN, don't do this. Stop it, please. YN, bye. I hung up before she could say anything else. My hand trembled as I set the phone down. But even before I could process what I'd just done, my phone lit up again. A message. From her. Shalya text, what you're thinking of doing is insane, in. I stared at her words, heart pounding. I was about to turn off the Wi-Fi and disconnect from the world, when another ping hit my screen. Shalya text. ## rupee underscore ML. Don't go to some club or shady place. It's not safe. You can get it at any proper medical store. Just, don't take too much. One dose is enough. I felt my breath catch. She gave in. YN text, thank you. You're the only one I trust. I'm sorry I had to force you. Another ping. Shalya text. If anything happens to you, YN, I swear I'll never forgive you. Think 100 times before you do this. Please. I stared at her message, hands cold, chest heavy. I wasn't doing this for me. I was doing it for him. For Taehyung. And that thought made it even harder to breathe.
This story doesn't end here. If you felt something, cried, screamed, yeah, just got goosebumps, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Taste Desire. Your support means the world. Hit the bell so you never miss the next breakdown, yeah? Breakthrough. Until then, stay safe and stay obsessed.